What up, what up, what up, YouTube? It's your girl DeeDee. Back in the building, y'all. Thank y'all so much for being here, y'all. Listen, this is impromptu. I just wanted to come on and share this with you guys, just in case you have not seen it or, but I wanted to share it. I also did a video on this as well, and I'll be posting a few more videos, but I wanted to go live quickly. I'm not going to keep y'all too long. My throat, y'all, my voice is scratchy. But I wanted to come on live and get your thoughts on this because, when we do a video, it's the video. You really don't get a whole lot of opinions. And I like to get in real time what you guys think about the situation. So definitely chime in. I want to hear your thoughts. I have a few clips I want to share with y'all. And yeah, I definitely want y'all to chime in and just get a little bit of insight of what you think about Donald Trump's plans on day one. So I'm gonna post that video clip, and I have a few other clips of what some people had to say about it. And of course, we've seen some of the videos of people crashing out, people thinking that they're going to be in a Handmaid's Tale because Donald Trump is the president. We talked about this yesterday briefly about women talking about they're going to boycott Trump and not have any, sexual relations anymore. I'm like, okay. And so I don't know, this election cycle has been really, a lot of times they're crazy, but I don't know, this one seems crazier to me. And so it's, it's just something else. And it's just compelled me to kind of talk about it because I'm seeing all of this that's happening, and I have a platform and I have to speak on it. Once again, we don't all agree, but we got to respect each other's opinions and choices that we make. So that's where I'm at with it. But thank y'all so much for being here. I appreciate everybody in the building, everybody watching, y'all. Thank y'all so much. Definitely chime in. I want to hear your thoughts. So I'm going to stop talking. As you come into the building, it's important to go ahead and hit the like button. Hit the like button, hit the thumbs up button. That actually helps the channel out a lot. So make sure you guys are doing that. Please hit the like button, y'all. Just as many people as we have in the building, I want to see just as many likes. So right now we have 80 people watching. Go ahead, hit the like button. It is free to do that. Just hit the like button. That's all you got to do. All right. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get into the clip first off of his plans. And I also posted this video on my channel. So check out the video if you haven't already as well. But I'm going to start with this, and then we're going to move on to some other clips. And then we're going to wrap this up. I'm not going to keep y'all too long today, but I wanted to touch on this. All right. So make sure you are hitting the like button. Let's get into it. Here we go.
The left-wing gender insanity being pushed on our children is an act of child abuse. Very simple. Here's my plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth. On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. It'll go very quickly. Furthermore, I will support the creation of a private right of action for victims to sue doctors who have unforgivably performed these procedures on minor children. The Department of Justice will investigate Big Pharma and the big hospital networks to determine whether they have deliberately covered up horrific long-term side effects of sex transitions in order to get rich at the expense of vulnerable patients, in this case, very vulnerable. I will ask Congress to pass a bill establishing that the only genders recognized by the United States government are male and female, and they are assigned at birth. Under my leadership, this madness will end. Thank you very much.
All right. So what do you guys think about that? Excuse me, y'all. What y'all think about what he's laid out for day one of his presidency? A lot of people I've seen on social media, a lot of people saying that these things that he mentioned shouldn't be the top of the list, that they're more important things that he should be concerned about. Others were saying they like the fact that he's going to tackle these issues because it's getting out of hand. People are, talking about, transgenders and men being able to go into the women's bathrooms and how dangerous that is. And also, because he's talking about the issue when it comes to children. So he's talking about minor children who are having these surgeries and having these hormone, all of these changes that they're going through to become a different gender. So he's talking about halting that and changing that because a lot of people don't think that children should be, able to determine if they want to change their gender and things of that nature. This here, it's a look, we're living in a time where people can't really say what a woman is, which, look, I find that baffling. We're not just women anymore. We're cis women. A lot of women don't like that. A lot of women have issues with that. There's a lot going on with all of this, but he's saying he's going to step in and he's going to change that. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't like it. But then again, there are a lot of people who are for it because they're saying it's gone haywire. So what's your thoughts on that? Do you agree with that? Or do you agree with him stepping in on day one, making those changes? Or you think that there are more pressing things that he should be concerned about, which there are other things that he seems to want to work on and change as well. Also, I don't know if I have the clip or not, but there's a clip and it'll probably be in another video where they're talking about, how Donald Trump, and I spoke on it, which that video will be coming out, about how, other foreign leaders and things of that nature are willing to work with Trump already, how things have already changed. They're saying they want to stop the wars. It seems like night and day from how they are communicating and looking to work with Donald Trump versus the Biden-Harris administration, how things seems to go left, and how all of, they were talking about World War III at one point and talking about, all of the things that are happening, Gaza and all of the wars and all of that stuff. Look, I'm not deeply entrenched in all of it, but I'm hearing what's going on. But now it seems like all of these people are looking to play ball and work with Donald Trump. And I'm wondering, why does it seem like a night and day situation to where it was such a hostile environment, seems like, with Biden and now with Trump, and he hasn't even been sworn in yet, that these people are looking to work with him and stop these wars and do something. It's just interesting, just as a regular, everyday voter who is not entrenched in politics. I'm seeing this happening, and it's just like a night and day situation. And I don't know if a lot of people are, which I know people are paying attention, but I don't know if people are really looking at that part of it versus the people who are so like pissed and crashing out because Kamala didn't win. And because they didn't get their first, black, a woman who looks like them, who was claiming, some say she was claiming to be black. Some say she wasn't at this point. I don't know what she is, but from what we've seen and all of the information that has come out, they're saying she's Asian, Indian, and Irish, of Irish descent is what they're saying. What do you guys think about that? Let me know in the chat. I'm going to go through it. I want to hear your thoughts on this. But seems like a lot of people the people who were pissed about Trump winning were mad because they, didn't get the opportunity to have a black woman in office as president, because she was in office. She is the vice president. So she is in office. She made it that far, which that is an accomplishment within itself. So I think they're looking over that and saying, oh no, I guess, we don't, it's almost as if they're not really concerned that she is actually the vice president right next to the president as what they would call a black woman. So I don't know, but they wanted to see a black woman, and a lot of these women who are, because it's mostly women and men too, but mostly women, crashing out because she didn't win the election. So, it seems to me that there are more pressing issues than the fact of just having the first black woman as president. There's more important things that needed to be looked at. I mean, just look at Excuse me, y'all. I am not feeling my best. But I wanted to come on here and get y'all thoughts. But I mean, we talk about the economy, right? Everybody's talking about the economy. We've been talking about inflation, the price of foods and goods, all these things. People having trouble paying rent. People having trouble just living a normal life. Everything is going up. Everything is so expensive, but wages are not going up enough and are not matching the price of everything else. So and people are talking about, which I'll get into this clip as well. Immigrants just pouring into the country. That's another big concern that people have, and how they are taking resources from citizens. These are the issues that people have been talking about versus reproductive rights when it comes to being able to delete your child. And so, it's like I said, this has been a very interesting election cycle, which they all are to me, but I don't know. I have not, and I don't think I have seen, and probably because, I wasn't as, entrenched in it as some others at the time, but I have not seen this much of crashing, this high level of crashing out in a minute. I mean, I don't think I've seen it at all. I mean, people are really like scared. They really seem to be crying, just really scared, saying we're going to be in a Handmaid's Tale. Of course, Project 2025 has people crashing out as well. So it's a lot going on. And I just found it very interesting. And yeah, just very interesting to say the least. You know what I mean? And I see in the comments, and I know people who voted for Trump. I know people who voted for Kamala. The people who voted for Trump are being shamed for exercising their rights to vote the way they see fit. It's just mind-boggling to me how disrespectful people have come out. And once again, and I'm not oblivious to, these election cycles, and every time it comes around, it gets crazy. There's a lot of name calling, a lot of animosity, because people want everybody to vote or go the way that they see fit or necessary, when that is not the way it's supposed to be. You're supposed to vote based on your interests and the things that you think will benefit you when you're voting for president or city council members, whoever you're voting for. And the level of hatred, the level of animosity, the level of like calling people names and telling people you want them to die. I'm not about that life. I'm just like, why can't we respect people's differences? That's the problem in this country, and the problem with individuals as it is. I watched The View, and you got that Sunny, I don't know her, I forget her last name, on that show. She's so pissed. They want to control people. You want to control folks and tell them what to do and how to do it. And I think that goes against everything that we're supposed to stand for. And people fought and died and for the right, for you to have these rights. And now just for people to try to undermine you in the way that you feel is fit for what your needs are, or what you think is best for you and your family or the country, is ridiculous to me. And I just think that it has to stop, And I mean, and I've never seen it at this level before, is what I'm saying. People have the right. And I mean, it's insane to me. It really is. So, and once again, and I'll say this too, there are people who have voted, who have been lifelong Democrats, right? There have been people who have been lifelong Democrats. And honestly, and I'm gonna be honest about this. Let me remove this. Tommy S says, thank you, DeeDee, for keeping it real. Thank you. I appreciate you. I'm just giving my thoughts. That's it. But thank you so much. I appreciate the super chat. I appreciate it. Just giving my perspective. And I just want people to respect people's thoughts. And we're not, everybody is not the same. I say this 1,000 times. I say this all the time. We are not the same just because we're Black. And this is the part where why I think the Black community is in shambles. Because for so long, it's almost like we've been controlled on this wheel of control where, our mothers and grandmothers or whoever told us, oh, He came out the womb as a black person, you're supposed to be Democrat. Democrats are for the black people. Vote Democrat. But they've told us this. They've told us this is how we're supposed to vote as black people because the Democrats are for black people. And that's been the narrative for years. As black people, just vote Democrat. Just don't look at policies. Don't look at things that might interest your, be in your best interest. Don't look at anything. Don't look at the candidate or what they stand for. You don't know who you voting in. Oh, they're Democrat. Boom. Just go and vote if you did vote. Because I grew up where a lot of people didn't even vote. But they say they were Democrats, but they didn't vote. So you have people who were lifelong Democrats, right, as black people, and they just believe in their mind that that's what they're supposed to do. Just vote because that's the party for the black people. So vote that way. And I think, in this particular election, and I'm just giving my opinion, y'all. Please don't freak out and lose your minds. Have some decorum. Understand that everybody don't think the same. It's okay. But yeah, and so I think what happened in this election, people, based on the things that are happening in this country, the things that people are looking at, they decided, hey, we want to go a different route. We don't want the administration that's in here, which is Harris, Biden, Harris, the Democrats. They're seeing what's happening under their watch. And I said this before. The way Kamala ran, she ran as if she was not a part of this administration, which I'm pretty sure that was a tactic that they chose to use. Let's deflect. Let's point at Donald Trump for everything, even though he hasn't been in office. They are in office. They are in office at the moment, but they ran in a way that made it seem like almost connecting him to the administration that's in there now. That's kind of like, I don't know, hoodwink people in a sense, like, oh, we have to turn the page. And I said it before, and it's just, I get it. Turn the page on what? The administration that's in there now? Because under your administration, all of this chaos is happening. So what are we turning the page on? You? And that's exactly how people voted. They turned the page on the administration that is happening now. And they talked about being accountable. And in my opinion, I don't think that they were being accountable for the things that are happening under their watch. They tried to deflect, and that was her strategy, to focus on Donald Trump, focus on the evil, mean person that he is, focus on all of the stuff that he got going on. And while, a lot of people say, hey, they don't like, one is the lesser of two evils. They weren't happy with either candidate. Now, people really stress that as well. A lot of people said they were not really that fond of Trump, and he seems, arrogant and mean. A lot of people said that. But based on the way the people voted, they were not really concerned about that. They were not really concerned about his arrogance, his meanness, all the others, him, being convicted. They voted. They seem to not care about all of that, but they're looking at a different picture. A lot of people are saying, hey, when he was president, and some people seem or act as if they didn't realize that he was president before, and we didn't turn into the Handmaid's Tale. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of people can say that, listen, when Donald Trump was in office, we were in a much better place. And that's a fact. We can't argue that. We were in a much better place when he when he was president. But I think they want to look over that, and, they want to point to all of the other stuff he has going on, but we didn't have any new wars. We were not going to war when he was in there. The economy was much better. People had money in their pockets, more than what they have now. We were not in this position that we're in now. We didn't have the border, with all these people coming in here, from the border that was in check. It was different. It was better. And we got to at least acknowledge that. But I ain't gonna say nobody, a lot of people didn't want to focus on that because they want what they want. You want to win. So of course it's you gotta say what you need to say to get what you want. But I think once again, the people have spoken. They voted the way they felt was best. And that is why Trump won. And you have people out here trying to wrap their brains around the fact that no matter what they tried to put on Trump or what he has going on, all of this stuff, the people did not care. They did not care about that, because when it came to policies, how he ran the country when he was president is a big difference from where we are now. Now, we can't argue with that, whether you like Trump or not, because at the end of the day, it's not about whether he's likable or whether you like him. It's about what he actually did and how he ran the country. And I think that is the difference. And that's how people voted. And a lot of people don't like it. They're like, how could you vote this racist in? And they're saying he's a racist and all of these things. And I mean, and I'm pretty sure you guys are more familiar with political views and politicians and things of that nature, but I'm pretty sure we've had racists in office who actually did things that benefited, the Americans. You think a lot of these former presidents and all these people were not racist, but they actually did things that benefited, that put things in place that actually benefit Black people, by the way. And so, I mean, come on, you got to understand that is not the end all be all. I mean, really. And so, I just think that's something to point out. And once again, the election is over. The people made their decision. Everybody's not happy with the decision. Listen, everybody in my family are the majority of them are Democrats, and they voted democratically. They voted for Kamala Harris because, they were afraid of Project 2025. They were afraid that Trump was going to take them back to the Handmaid's Tale. And they voted for Kamala Harris. And the fact that she was a Democrat, and that the fact that she was a Black woman. And then they don't even know why. That's the only reason they voted for her. They only voted for her because of that, of fear that, for fear that he's going to take them back to the Handmaid's Tale. I'm just saying, that's how they voted. And that's how a lot of people voted. A lot of people voted on identity politics. They only wanted her in there to have this historical moment. Oh, that she is to be the first Black woman to become the president. They wanted to see it, and it would make them feel empowered. Once again, it's all about a feeling for some that we gonna just, have this Black woman, and now we can hold our heads high as Black women and feel like, we're worth something. So that's how people in my family voted as well. And I asked them, so why? Oh, because Project 2025 and it's not, and they can't, and they don't hear nothing else. That's the only reason. And I just think, you have to be a little bit more informed. At least if you're going to vote for somebody, at least know what their record is, know why you're voting for them, know what you're voting for. So a lot of them, then that's all they voted for. Yeah. Avenge the Ancestor says, you always kick the straight facts, Queen DeeDee. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Avenge the Ancestors. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat. Yeah, I mean, listen, I always say, listen, I don't know it all. I'm just a regular everyday person who's giving my opinion, and I have a right to give my opinion. That's it. Whether because a lot of people, people, like I say, people on these apps crashing out. They wishing people would die because they voted a certain way. I'm just like, what in the world are we coming to? What is this world coming to? I mean, and that's the problem. You don't know how to accept other people's choices. This goes back to what I talk about relationships. You got women shaming men. It's like the relationship realm of thinking when it comes to women, it's translated into politics now, especially this political season. I see it more and more. The two are related. Oh, these men once again blaming men again, and tried to blame Black men, but Black men, every demographic voted in higher numbers for Trump. So they couldn't really put it all on Black men, because white men, what it was, Latin, Asian men, Black, white women, everybody voted for Trump. So you got to go across the board, which I mean, I've seen some videos where they actually did went and just dismantled every group because they voted the way they saw fit. And people talk about control, but that is one of the most controlling things you could ever do. Try to shame people and threaten people because they exercise their right to vote the way they wanted to. But let it be done to them. And honestly, and I have to say, when they talk about the Republican Party is the racist group and all of that, I see more racism coming from the Democratic side than anything. Because when you're telling a person you need to vote just because a person appears to be black, you don't think that that's considered racist? But if a white person said, well, I'm just going to vote because they're white, oh, you're going to call that racist. And you're doing the exact same thing that you say is a problem on the other side. Make it make sense. That's not in my mind, in my view, that is not good. So if you got to do better. You can't do what you're saying is the problem with others. And that's what we always see. People don't see themselves. The very things that you complain about are the very things that you're doing. And I've never seen it in this, magnitude ever. But it says it to me, it signifies the state of where we're headed as a country and as a people. People are very judgmental. You can't, you can't agree to disagree. You don't know how to accept other people's opinions and thoughts, as if you want to have control on how other people think and move, and it's not a good look. It's not a good look in my opinion, child. And I see it. I see it. I want to move on to a couple of other clips. And it's funny how some people were not privy to this. Remember when we was talking about and shout out to Anton Daniels, because Anton posted a lot of stuff on his. I mean, he be reeling them out, and he talked about this, how the migrants were getting and I think I posted a video on it, how in New York migrants were getting all this money, all this government assistance, all this, free rent and things of that nature. And there are people who are citizens of this country who are struggling, and there's no help. So that was a big issue. But I want to go ahead and pull this up. And y'all let me know what y'all think. Check it out.
Will no longer issue vouchers to migrants to pay for food, ending a controversial program that had repeatedly come under attack by conservatives and others.
This pilot program in New York City, drenched in both humanity and controversy, distributed debit cards to migrant families staying in city-funded hotels and allowing them to buy their own food. Eyewitness News reporter Josh Onier following the breaking news for us. Josh?
Well, Bill, it's a program that, as you say, generated plenty of controversy, but now its absence may raise even more questions. The so-called Immediate Response Cards pilot program was designed to help feed migrant families who'd found themselves in New York with no way to afford food. The one-year contract provided what the city described as culturally relevant food to 2,600 migrant families, allowing them to basically buy what they wanted. A family of four with two kids under 5 got about $350 per week to cover food in a program the city said would actually save taxpayers millions a year. It also reduced food waste. You may remember the food the city had been providing in migrant shelters was seen as not culturally sensitive to the needs of some migrant groups, and it ended up just going to waste. For more than a year, the city was groaning under the weight of more than 200,000 asylum seekers. Officials say the migrant population has actually reduced lately. In fact, a massive shelter on Roosevelt Island is in the process of closing. In the meantime, Mayor Adams spoke on the phone yesterday with President-elect Donald Trump, who had vowed during his campaign to mass deport migrants. Aside from congratulating him on his win, though, Adams today would not say what they discussed.
Okay, what's your thoughts on that? So this is something we had already heard, but now they're ending that. It's supposed to be it was supposed to be a 1-year thing, and so it's ended. So, and also the free rent and all, I think that's going to be ending as well. But a lot of people didn't even know this was a thing. This was posted on Instagram, and a lot of people in the comments didn't even know that they were getting $350 a week. A lot of people in that post were saying they couldn't even qualify, that they applied for government assistance and was denied because they had a job and they were not even able to get. They're like $350 a week. They're saying most working class people, even if you don't make a whole lot of money, did not qualify for even that amount of assistance. A lot of people who did get it said they got way less. And so, and they just didn't feel comfortable with illegals coming into the country and being able to get any substantial amount of assistance when the citizens of this country are being denied assistance left and right. And I saw somebody even posted that, hey, in Florida, when these storms happened, they didn't even have the funds to cover that. They got on there, and I think I covered that as well, where FEMA ran out of funds because they had given probably to the tune of billions of dollars to foreign countries and to illegals, and once again, I will say this too, and I think we have to make the point because people try to take it out of context. It's not the point because people have been coming over to this country for years. I mean, it's not that you can't come into the country, but they want we would prefer you to do it legally. The legal way, not just pour over here, because that does affect everybody. It affects the cost of things. Also, it takes away from, resources that's supposed to be for the citizens of the country, the people who pay into society, the people who pay taxes. Those people don't pay taxes. They don't pay into the society that we have to live in. So it does take away resources from the citizens of this country because this is our country. So you have to be concerned about that. You can't just look at that and overlook it. No, because when resources for citizens are lacking, sort of like FEMA, where natural disasters happen and they can't even help the people, where other citizens have to come out of their pockets to help other citizens when the country itself have spent so much money for outside people, you don't even have enough to cover and help your own citizens, which is horrible in my opinion. And those are the types of things that are being done under the Democrats. So anybody with a sane mind will look at that and say, wait a minute, why are they allowing this to happen? Wait a minute, why is it that the people of this country are struggling and there's no help for them, but all of these people could just come in and get free rent, free vouchers for food, get money. That doesn't sound right, and that doesn't sit right with Americans who pay taxes. And I think was the camel, how y'all say it, the camel that broke the straw that broke the camel's back. That was it. While others are wondering what in the world you would vote a racist and a misogynist, and they don't care about that. They didn't care about that. They did not care about all of that stuff. They're like, nah, y'all trying to run this. This is what people are saying. I'm just saying, y'all trying to run this country in the ground. You don't care about the citizens. You're giving all this money to illegal migrants, and you have people keep stressing about there are homeless veterans. I mean, you can drive anywhere and you see people homeless on the side of the street holding up signs saying they need food. And you're giving all this to people who are not even a part of the country and who are illegal immigrants. You gotta think about that. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to be realistic. And that is the things that people were focused on. While others are shocked and trying to vote on identity politics, that is the furthest thing from the voters' mind. That's why those people voted the way they voted. I'm just saying that's why they voted. So for people who are confused about why we couldn't, and blaming men, which was funny to me. And then Obama coming out saying, well, it seems like you guys don't want, to have a woman as president. Baby, there was more arching things that people were more, important things that people are focused on than just voting a first Black woman or woman of color into the presidential office. There was more pressing things that people were concerned about. Now, I think if Kamala and her team had ran a different way, and this is just my opinion, but y'all let me know what y'all think, because some people think she didn't have a chance. But I'm like, maybe she did have a chance, because some didn't think she would do as well as she did. But you know, people, maybe if she ran on something differently, maybe she could have won. Maybe if she just, you know, distanced herself from Biden, because a lot of people were like, hey, she was the vice president. There wasn't much she could do, when, you know, she was right, and she said it, and Biden said it. She was right in lockstep with what what he chose to do. She was right there and agreed with it. But okay, if they can say, oh well, she, you know, didn't make the decision. She wasn't the president. She just was the vice president. Okay, why not distinguish yourself from his policies? Why not come out and say, hey, I'm going to do something differently from what Biden did. I wasn't, you know, I'm going to turn the page and do something different. Maybe if she had done that and tried to distinguish herself from his policies and not align with them, maybe, and she had something more substantial than just, you know, reproductive rights of trying to get rid of your baby. Maybe if she done something differently and not try to use celebrity, because I think I think a lot of the things that she did not help her. It hurted her, and she didn't realize it. A lot of these people are living in a fishbowl. You don't really talk to the people to see what it is people want. A lot of these people are lost and in this fishbowl of what they think people want, and then when it doesn't work, you know, people, they get mad. But to me, I think if she would have distinguished herself or separated herself from his plans and said, hey, I'm going to do this, but you didn't do that. She aligned with it. And so it became the Biden-Harris plan. And people said, nah, we don't want 4 more years of that. But, you know, I was talking to my husband. I'm like, well, maybe she could have won if she said, no, I'm going to do this, something differently from that. And I'm going to do this and that. And then bringing all these celebrities, and not just celebrities, you know, but the type of people she brought up, you know, and made people feel like, what are you trying to do? We see what you're doing. Like, you bringing Cardi B, you're bringing Meg Thee Stallion. Somebody said she was bringing and look, this is not my words, but she brought up the 304s of the celebrity world to represent her party and her candidacy. And I'm just like, were there better people that you more distinguished, better people that you could have brought up to represent you? And the fact that she used those people is another like thing that people paid attention to. Like, wait a minute, you think that we're all as Black people because you're trying to, you know, reel us in? Because I don't think the people she chose was for everybody else. That's just my opinion. It was to influence Black people because they believe that all of us are influenced by celebrities and all of us are influenced by shaking asses, you know, because that seems to be what Black people like. Oh, twerking and getting on tables and just acting a plumb fool. Anytime you have, what's her name, playing at the White House for these college students, child, I was mind blown. It was ridiculous. You playing this ratchet ass music at the White House and they all dancing and twerking, and because you think that's what all Black people are influenced by. Let me give them what they want. They want a party. Let's continue to give them a party. They don't care about policies. They don't care about anything else. Let's give them what they want, and I'm going to win. When there are a lot of people who are not influenced by that and look at that as some buffoonery. Look at that like, what are you doing? Cardi B, everybody, all the twerk shakers of the industry, that's who you pulled up? Meg Thee Stallion, Cardi B. What's her name? Then you brought out Beyonce, which was supposed to be, that was gonna seal the deal. And you brought out what's her name? The other one. What's her name? Glorilla. You brought out rappers. Quavo was up there one time. Who else? I mean, you brought up that's what you brought up to represent you and to try to get the Black vote. Because that's what y'all think. Y'all, it's like you think we're stupid. You don't think that we have a brain. You don't think that we think higher than that. That's the way we all function, and that's what we all idolize. So they use that, and it's almost like a slap in the face to people who do not patronize celebrity and who do not look at these people as idols, and the people who do not look at them as their representation. You know, it's you minimizing the Black people, if anything else. And I think people realize that. Wow, oh, we just a good time. We just a party. Let's play this music, this ratchet music, nothing but cussing and degrading and twerking, and that's all we care about. But I think they're used to that. They're used to that. They're used to being able to use those things to win us over and get our votes, because they know a lot, or they think a lot of Black people don't care about policy. That's just we give them what they want. You look like us, we're gonna vote for you. You give us a show and you got us. That's it. You don't really. That's why it's so hard to get politicians to actually focus on doing things, particularly for Black people, because they don't think that we require much. They don't think that we care about much. Give us a day. Give us a Juneteenth. Give us a party, and we good. We Gucci. So that has to change, and maybe this election cycle will make them think a little bit harder about actually creating policies that will benefit people. And Black people, I gotta say it, because if you pass an Asian bill specifically for Asians, but you're not passing anything that will specifically protect Black people or anything for Black people. What she said out her mouth, she's not gonna do anything specific to Black people, no. And then if you go back, Obama said the same thing. Nothing is specifically for Black people. It doesn't work like that. But y'all pass a bill specifically for Asians and others. So there needs to be something that they need to do something differently going forward, in my opinion. If they want to win, they gotta change it up. You gotta stop thinking. And I think this is why they're so shocked. When you're used to people being a certain way and you can maneuver with them a certain way, and when they flip it up, oh my God, of course it's gonna shock you. Of course it's gonna shock you. So you're gonna be shocked and appalled that, wow, they actually didn't fall for what we was trying to put out. They used their brains. Is it Dragons? Is it Dragon's Talon 1001? I hope I'm saying that right. Thank you for the super chat. It says, I ordered meat and potatoes, and all Kamala served us was word salad with a Trump bad salad dressing, absolutely nothing of substance. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you can't really argue that. I mean, and I tried. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Fowler says, I remember that Alpha Beta Mafia celebration at the White House. Right. Alpha Beta Mafia celebration at the White House. Yeah, it was just, when I saw it, my mouth dropped. I was like, I can't believe, what? It's such a low bar. It really is. Thank you, Farrell, for the super chat. I appreciate you, sir. And so, I tried, I listened to this campaign speeches and everything, and I was just in awe. I was like, wow, really? Because I'm like, at first I'm like, Kamala gonna win. That's what's my thoughts, y'all. God honest truth. I'm just telling the truth. I was like, oh, she gonna win. Because, it seems like she got the momentum. I told my husband, I was like, you know what? This Kamala probably gonna win. That's what I was telling my husband. I'm like, because she seems to have the momentum and she bringing all these celebrities out and people like that, But, to me, that was, undermining the intelligence of Black people. Oh, this what y'all like, but to some degree, and let me know what y'all think. I could kind of see why they think that way, because in social media, how people respond to these 304 ratchet rappers and celebrities, that it seems on the surface that is what Black people gravitate to. So we're going to give them what they want. That's what they were thinking. And then realize that is not the majority. And, and I remember, I distinctly remember Biden saying, if you don't vote for me, then you're not Black, child. Do y'all remember that? And I'm looking like, and people still voted for him. He said, if you don't vote for me, you're not Black. What do you, like what? So, look, there's craziness on both sides, but what I'm saying is, all I'm saying is the people already voted. They made their decision, and it is what it is. You got to accept it and move on. Just like if Kamala would have won, listen, you would have to accept that decision as well and move on. If she would have been our president, she would have been the president. That's it. You got to accept that, move on, see what they do, and move on. That's it. Let's see here. So I got a couple more clips I want to share with you guys. Make sure you are hitting the like button, y'all. We got 409 people in. We only have 243 likes. Hit the like button, you guys. Hit the like button. Trying to turn this country into love and hip hop. Listen, look, that's what it seemed like. I'm just saying, like, no, we don't want love and hip hop, baby. Everybody not into that. Everybody not trying to be that. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Everybody not trying to do that. Brian Allen Hines says Kamala Harris had no policies other than Trump bad. That's what exactly. And I think that's what hurt her. Every question, she had a certain set of answers. She had the same answers, so people knew the answers verbatim. No matter what you ask her, no matter what type of what are you going to do to help the cost of the inflation? What are you going to do with this? What are you going to do with that? Oh, well, I was raised middle class. I come from a middle class background. Like, she had the same answers. It was the same set of answers. Nothing real of any substance. And I think that's what people looked at. People were not delusioned by that. They looked at it like, wow, she didn't really give any real answers. And what got me is when she would say, we're gonna let the what she said, we're gonna let the law take care of that. I'm just like, so she really, I mean, I think, and I'll say this too. People are saying she didn't have enough time. Let's address that. So she didn't have enough time. She only had a short period of time to prepare for all of this, but she's been vice president for just about the 4 years. So what do you mean? She was right there in lockstep with the president. She should have been able to know what type of plans she wanted all that time. She was right there. It's not like she just came out of nowhere. She was right there. She's vice president. She's still vice president. So what do you mean you didn't have enough time? You saw the policies that y'all voted on. You should see what's happening. If you had any any plans to make any differences from what y'all already put out, and y'all are the ones who created what's happening now. So if you had any plans of doing anything differently, you should have known what you were going to do, because what that would signify to me is you really didn't have any other plans to do anything differently. Yeah, I'm just saying. These were Harris's plans. She was right there with him. Y'all didn't really have anything differently that you were going to do. Y'all were pushing everything that's happening. So, I mean, it makes sense to me, but I mean, if you've been right there, it's not like you came out the woodworks. You were there. You're vice president. So you should have had a list of things that you will want to do that if you thought that the policies that Biden put in place were not good for this country and you didn't like it, you should have specifically what you were going to do that was differently from what he was doing. That's just my opinion on it. I'm just saying. But let me go ahead and play this for you guys. Here we go.
Zeroing in on things that might change under a new Trump administration. The former president has promised to reinstate a ban on military service for transgender people and to block transition-related care for minors nationwide.
But what does this anti-LGBTQ rhetoric practically mean for a second Trump term? Joining us now, NBC News correspondent Stephen Romo. So, Stephen, what are you hearing from voters about a second Trump presidency?
Yeah, Kate and Clay, there's a lot of fear in many of the LGBTQ plus community, particularly about trans rights when it comes to the former president. Advocacy groups like the Human Rights Campaign posting today, "We are brokenhearted, but we are not broken," along with a list of different resources, including mental health resources for the community. The Trevor Project posting something very similar toward trans young people, saying your life matters, a nod to LGBTQ plus young people who are more than 4 4 times likely to commit suicide than their peers. There's a real sense that the progress that's been made over the past few years could be rolled back. Here's more of what some voters had to say.
I have a lot of friends and family that are, women, LGBTQ, so I fear for them. I think our country just got a lot less safe for them. And so, I don't know. Not the country I thought it was.
Also hearing from voters bringing up a Project 2025, which you'll remember promotes traditional American family. Trump has distanced himself from that, though there are many links between that effort and his campaign. Guys.
Yeah, Stephen, President-elect Trump's campaign ran ads with messaging around transgender issues. There's one that it was all over the place with the tagline, Harris is for they, them. I wonder whether people in the LGBTQ community and others that you're talking to worry that things are really going to change under, just tonally under a new Trump administration.
Certainly, and one thing that I'm hearing from voters.
But listen, what do you guys think of this? And look, like I said before, if you want to be them, they, that's your personal preference. But and people point out that it's only a small percentage of them, they. Then why is the major focus on them, they? The major focus should be on everybody, all Americans, and what could happen in this country involving all of us. If Biden Harris was trying to create these new wars, which we've been hearing about, and possibly people were talking about the draft, and all of these things, I don't think they would want to have to, because if that was to happen, they would be going to war. They would have to fight. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think they want to do that. We have bigger fish to fry, in my opinion. It would be something more major. I don't think they would want to, it don't matter, what you identify as, trans woman or whatever, they would be rounding you up to go and fight if a new war was to occur. And I don't think they want to do that. So I saw on social, like I said, they were saying, oh, that's just a small percentage. So why is so much of the big focus is on that when we have bigger things to worry about? And then, it's almost like they're worried more about that than anything else. Child, it's just a lot. CP the trucker says Kamala let all these illegals in just to use her black people as a voting block, while at the same time encouraging black women to delete their babies. Never been an ally. Listen, very good point, CP the trucker. I mean, and people see it. It's not like people are dumb. And that's what they thought people were dumb and wouldn't see through the shenanigans. That's just my thoughts. But thank you once again for the super chat. I appreciate you, CP the trucker. Thank you so much for the super chat, child. Successful MD says it's the electoral college that chooses the president. Regardless of the policies, we don't decide. It gives false hope. H. Clinton won popular vote. She did. And many were saying, listen, if Clinton if she couldn't win, what made Kamala think that she could win? It's just a lot. Thank you once again, Successful MD, for the super chat, child. Farrell says Kamala Biden and Obama just sexualized America. Bros, since heifers wishing debt on you, let them figure out Xmas and Thanksgiving for their kids, child. Thank you for the super chat, Farrell. I appreciate you. It's just a lot. It's a lot. But once again, the crashing out is just, it's done it for me. I'm just like, what in the world? What is going on? Yeah, so the LGBTQ community, they're feeling scared and they're worried about what's going to happen and all of these things. There are a lot of people who aren't comfortable with having, them going in the women's bathrooms where you have your girls going into the bathrooms. Nobody's happy with that. A lot of people are not happy with transgenders being able to play in women's sports. All of that. I mean, these women were getting their heads crashed in and stuff, fighting with these men, and they're not happy with that. So I don't know. It's just a lot of things. And once again, Donald Trump spoke on the minor children, having all these different things being, being done to their bodies because they think or feel that they want to be in a different body. And, you know, in a lot of cases, the parents don't have any say over it. They're taking the rights away from the parents with their own children and allowing the children to decide. Some of them saying even they're coercing these children to decide to go and get these gender affirming surgeries. And there's a whole documentary on this where a lot of these young children were saying they were coerced and allegedly coerced into getting these surgeries and these hormones and things. So they all weren't, you know, and these young kids aren't able to decide if that's a life-altering, life-changing situation. They don't have the mental capacity to actually say that's what they want. This is why you have parents who decide and make choices for children. And then once you are an adult, you can make your own decision. Once you're 18, you're considered a legal adult. You can decide if you want to do that because it's on you. But that's crazy. That, you know, that people would support that. But, you know, that's what it is. Both sides have been using illegals for 100 years. Thank you, Successful MD. Yeah, I mean, I think both sides have their flaws. And that's why I keep it like this, because no one side is better than the other. But if you're looking at what's happening at the moment, that's where you're supposed to decide who you think would be better for the situations that are happening now and the decisions that they've made. You know what I mean? No side is perfect. No side. Each side has done things that people don't agree with or may benefit or not benefit this country. But you got to, I mean, you can't go way back and say, oh, what they did back then, let's vote on that. No, you got to vote on the people who are on the floor now and what their policies are and how they're affecting you and your country now. So yeah, I agree though. Thank you for the super chat, Successful MD. CP the Trucker says Kamala put the two folks who sang WAP on Front Street. Sure did. Sure did. I think that's what they think we care about. WAP. We care about that. And nothing else. That was just mind-boggling to me. Thank you once again, CP the Trucker, for the super chat. That's what they think we care about, you know. And once again, it goes back to giving us Juneteenth, giving us a holiday, giving us something to celebrate, but not any real policies that actually benefit Black people. Which that said a lot to me even then. So, you know, let's move on. Successful MD says they both are grifting liars, super shady. Thank you for the super chat, Successful MD. So, Successful MD, who did you vote for? You voted for Kamala? Thank you for the super chat, by the way. Let's move on to what some people had to say. Here we go.
I'm so confused right now. The amount of girls that are coming up on my For You page talking about Trump has been elected president. Oh my gosh. We don't have any rights anymore. My grandma has more rights than I do. What the heck are you talking about? What? I can buy a car. I can buy a home. I can go to school. I can get a job. I can do everything a man can do. I can vote. I can vote. I have the freedom to go onto this wonderful app and speak whatever I feel like. That's my car telling me I need an oil change. Anyways. What rights am I losing? And if the only rights we're talking about are allowing men to come into the bathroom with me and play in women's sports and the right to kill an unborn child, I'm sorry, you're crazy and kind of demonic. So if you needed a reason to unfollow me, there it is.
Okay, so now that my page is back up and it's not banned no more, like y'all try to mass report it and ban it, I got a lot of things to say, and I'm speaking specifically right now to my quote-unquote sorors. The fact that there were hundreds of sorors in my comments degrading me like you know me and you don't, questioning my blackness when I'm black as hell and came from a black mama, questioning my education when I went to a HBCU, graduated magna cum laude with a 3.6 GPA from an institution that was founded by an honorary member of our illustrious sorority, a member that founded it with $1.50 5 little girls in a dream, no handouts. Yeah, that institution. Questioning my membership when I've been a member for almost 7 years. I've been a member since March 31st, 2018. Y'all calling me perps. Y'all saying I'm this. Y'all saying I'm that. And these are all sorors. When I thought that sisterhood is supposed to be at our core.
Girl, that sisterhood is fake. The sisterhood is a fake BS. Because they hated on this woman. Had people pages taken down because of who they voted for. This is why I say this is madness. And calling her names and all kinds of things. This is the sisterhood, right? This is a sisterhood who are doing this, right? And they're supposed to be so great and for each other. But as soon as you don't do what they want you to do, oh my God, they slander you, tear you down. But some sisterhood, right? Child, that's a bunch of BS.
We're supposed to lead with love and compassion and courtesy. That's what we're supposed to be leading with. But y'all really showed y'all behinds in my comments. And y'all still showing y'all behinds in my comments till this day. But nothing beats y'all wishing on me, hoping that y'all can bully me, cyber bully me to the point to where I may feel like I want to denounce my letters, my DST, simply because I had a difference in opinion and I said who I voted for. Now, granted, yes, I did have it in my letters, but I figured, well, there were sorors that were supporting Kamala Harris in their letters. I read the email, I read the communication, and because it's internal, I can't post it and really explain exactly what was said in it. But I never endorsed anyone, and I never encouraged anybody to vote for Trump. I specifically said that I voted for him. I gave my reasons why I didn't vote for Kamala, and I said vote in the best interest of you and your people. And I said that I went and voted. I exercised my right to vote. Yes, I'm aware that my ancestors fought for my right to vote. And I exercised those rights at the polls on Friday when I posted that video. Now, keep it a buck. The only reason why y'all feel away about what I said is because of who I voted for. If I would have got on this internet, if I would have got on TikTok and said, oh, y'all, look, I just went ahead and voted. I got my voting sticker. I went ahead and voted for Kamala Harris. My D9 sis, I got to support her. We HBCU alums. Us girls got to stick together. If I would have got on the internet and said that, this wouldn't even be a discussion. It wouldn't even be a topic of discussion. Y'all are so stuck in y'all ways, especially y'all old heads. Y'all feel like, oh, she's a young girl. She's out of line. No, we don't think that way. That's against our founding. That's against this and that. When the core of our founding, who we were founded by, was based on conservative values.
Oh, before. Listen, she has a point. And once again, the sisterhood, somebody said it's of convenience. Yeah, when you go against, you have a difference of opinion, I'll say. Because nobody is in control of the other. You have a right. You have the right to use your brain and do what you feel is best for you or whatever. Why is it that's the only thing I don't like? I don't like people that try to control folks. This is why when I talk about relationship stuff and I talk about a lot of these women complain about men being controlled. They don't want nobody controlling them, but they try to control you. And if they can't get what they want out of you, oh, you're shamed and they're putting you down and disrespecting you and wishing bad things on you. That's a mental flaw. Like what the hell? Like I say, projection. The very things you complain about are the very things that you do. And in this election cycle clearly show that. It's crazy. And they're supposed to be their sister and all this kind of stuff. But, oh, she ain't your sister when she don't do what you want her to do. That's control. And people love to be in control of things. And when they lose control, they lose control. When they lose control of you, then they show you who they really are. And that's with anybody, who wants to control a group of people, who wants to control individuals or whatever. When they can't control you, their real true colors come out. Successful MD says, are these women really feminists or foolish, child? Thank you for the super chat. Chris FX, I hope I'm saying it right. Liking Trump is the least of our worries right now. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate your comment. Yeah, it's just madness. Let's continue, y'all.
I got banned off TikTok Live. I was talking about how women are so emotionally imbalanced that y'all don't realize the bigger issue with Kamala not being the president. While y'all are up here screaming and crying on social media, y'all don't realize that you would have had way more issues to worry about other than abortions if she would have became president, because she would have left the borders wide open. And do you know what that means? That means that there would have been people physically running through your home trying to physically harm you, and you would not have to worry about an abortion. You would have to worry about your physical safety. And I don't think women realize that. Y'all don't understand that there are things bigger than abortion going on in this country. The Democratic Party was legit picking at people. They were legit keeping the borders open to the point where there were people in Colorado taking over people's apartments. No matter what y'all want to say, there was real evidence of that. Let's not mention the young girl life that was taken in Texas because those two men did her horribly. What do you think would have really happened if Kamala Harris would have became president? As a woman, I would prefer this individual, even though he's not the most positive. I know that my body will be fully safe, even though my vagina means I can't get abortions. I'm sorry. At some point, women, we have to step outside of our emotion and look at the bigger picture. It's not always about you, which is exactly why she lost, because she was only going after the women. But we need men to protect us, because who's going to protect us if those borders was coming open? Let's just be real. Y'all was so worried about your vaginas, but it don't seem like you was worried about these overgrown men walking in women's bathrooms with your little girls.
Nobody's gonna know. Nobody's gonna know. They're gonna know.
It says at work pretending to be upset because Trump won. This is shout out to Fawcett Media. I saw his video. But shout out to Fawcett Media. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, go over and subscribe. I like his content as well. Child, listen. Let's continue.
They're taking away our rights. They're taking away our rights. What rights are they taking away from you as a woman?
Right.
Your right to unalive your own flesh and blood, your own child.
That's it.
Unfortunately, they're not taking that right away from you. You can still do that. So what rights are they taking away? Or do you mean they're taking away the rights of men pretending to be women from entering into our spaces, into our bathrooms, into our sports? Are you talking about those rights?
Successful MD, thank you for the super chat. Says DeeDee, to answer you, I didn't vote for neither. Gotcha. And apparently, listen, Successful MD, a lot of people didn't vote. There's a lot of people who didn't vote also. So yeah, a lot of people just sat it out. It was like, nah, we don't really care for neither one. So a lot of people didn't vote. Thank you for the super chat.
It seems to me like they're restoring our rights as women. Now we can actually finally proudly have our own female-only spaces where we can be safe, our own female-only sports where people who have trained, women who have trained for years and years can finally gain the recognition that they deserve because they don't have to worry about competing against a biological man. So are they taking away our rights as women or are they helping us? And let's not even talk about the fact that if the unborn child that you are unaliving through the procedure is a female, you are taking away her rights. So what rights are being taken away?
All I've seen Kamala do is promote abortion. Okay, this is what you're talking about giving us free housing, tax credits, and all of that. They got to be paid back. Y'all could have been done this. This stuff that you're talking about helping black men, you all could have been done this. People want to give us the excuse that, well, she's the VP, she didn't have any power. Well, hell, Kim Kardashian ain't never held a seat in office, and she done did more for niggas than Kamala Harris ever has in her lifetime. I've never held a seat in office. I've done more for than Kamala Harris ever has in her lifetime. This idea that somebody can't operate from a position of VP, that they can't use their influence. If I could use my influence to get Trump to change the law, you telling me Kamala can't use her influence as VP to get something done specifically for our community? When them Asians was murdered down here in Atlanta, she came down here, was on ABC talking about she was the first Asian vice president. I don't know if she Asian, black, or Indian, but that ain't the point.
If she's vulnerable, she's in the in club, she's a vessel, she'll do whatever it is that they want. She has no opinions of her own. She's not even intelligent, if you ask me, plainly. Like she's not even intelligent. And so she's the worst kind of person. She's got no compassion. She lies and feels absolutely nothing. And she's the worst plausible candidate that could get into office right now when we're at such a critical juncture in this country.
You know who we got to give.
Listen, and I think she had I think they all have great points. It wasn't the fact that, in my opinion, It wasn't the fact that she was just a woman that people didn't vote for. It was the fact that they didn't think that she was a good candidate. Bottom line, they didn't think that she was a good candidate. I think people will vote for a woman if she's a good candidate, if she's addressing the things that people want to hear, and she's just a good. They just didn't think that Kamala was a good candidate. That's just it. And you shouldn't be forced to vote for somebody for a different agenda other than the fact that she was not a good candidate. That's how you're supposed to look at candidates and decide, hey, I think this person would be better for policies that they put in place that will benefit us, or no, I don't think that they're offering what we want. And that's how you're supposed to vote, not on the fact that something that's superficial. Oh, just because she's a woman and she appears to be black. Like, what? No. The reason I say this is because I don't have to like him. I'm worried about whether or not he's doing right by me, to reference James Earl Jones. Thank you, Chris FX. I hope I'm saying it right. Right. It's not about whether you like somebody or not. It's whether you think that they have the right policies in place that may benefit you. That's how you're going to vote if you're going to vote. You know what I mean? Not just on because they're a woman, because they're a man, because they're a certain color, and because, that's not what you should be voting on. That's the things that as black people have fought for, being racist, racism, inequality, voting for people just because they look like you, or picking people for certain jobs based off of their race or religion. Aren't those the things that we fought for as black people and march for, to be included and not discriminated against because of our race, our religion, or other things? Right? Why? It is crazy that this is what this country had to go through and fight for as black people to not be discriminated against because of our race. You're worried about, you're talking about, there's discrimination within itself. Oh, because you're black, we're not going to hire you for a job because we don't like black people. Isn't that the things that we fought for? So now you mean to tell me you're slandering the very people on that same idea? Oh, y'all didn't vote for her because you're not supposed to discriminate against someone based on gender, race, or religion. But you're slandering people because they didn't vote for her because she's assuming they didn't vote for her because she's a woman and she's so-called black or a woman of color now. But you're slandering people, assuming that's the way they voted, and you're mad and wishing harm on people because they voted. I mean, it's just it's crazy. Thank you once again for your super chat. I appreciate you. The Marcus Vaughn says it was insane that a woman says stop having sex for 4 years since Donald Trump won the election. Yeah, that was ridiculous. And I got the video on that because this lady is a mess herself. It's that lady who have a ring around her mouth sitting out here telling women. But I'm like, hey, listen, look, maybe if that'll stop y'all from being so promiscuous and throwing that cooch on everybody, then maybe that's a good thing. But it took Trump to become president for y'all to realize that, y'all. Baby, thank you for the super chat, DeMarcus. Rainbow Kid says, can you read my comment in the chat? What comment was that? I can't see everything. What comment was it, Rainbow Kid? Thank you for the super chat. Why didn't you super chat it? What is your comment, baby? And how you doing? I don't know what your comment is. But thank you for the super chat. Suave_D says, I hope I'm saying that. Suave, I hope I'm saying it right. As VP, Biden launched an initiative for Holocaust survivors, which resulted in them receiving $12 million from the Obama administration. Being the VP is not an impediment to helping a specific group. I agree with you. Thank you so much for the super chat. You are absolutely right. But the way people were out here talking like, well, she was the VP, she couldn't do anything. And I agree with what Angela Stanton, I think that's something Angela said, you can use your influence to get things done. I mean, so if you want to, you can do stuff. It's a matter of whether you want to or not. And she said she wasn't going to do anything specifically for black people. No, she said it and she didn't. Thank you for that super chat. I appreciate you. Let's continue.
I have an honorable mention too, and y'all not gonna like it, but hear me out. Joe Biden. Joe Biden sabotaged that woman every step of the way. Joe Biden was the one that even had her run. He said, even in that senile state, that man said, who would be the worst candidate? Who would give Donald Trump a landslide? Oh, maybe the worst vice president to ever vice president, Kamala Harris. Thank you, Joe Biden. And Trump said at the debate he really hates her. He said it, and he might tell a joke, he'll never tell a lie. Remember when she was going to come out at that rally and say how she ended that huge longshoreman strike that was going on, and Joe Biden interrupted it with his press conference from the Oval Office or wherever it was, where he took the credit. Shout out to you, Joe Biden. And I'm not going to lie, I knew what time it was when he put that hat on. Remember when he put the Trump hat on? I said, oh, Donnie was right. Donnie was right. And hold up, it doesn't end there. Everybody was all up in arms about that comedian making that joke. Joe Biden said, oh no, I got Donnie's back. Y'all are garbage. That old man knew what he was doing. So close to the election. And here's the coup de grace. He sent Jill out to go vote in MAGA red. Everybody knows you wear red to the polls. We know what time it is. I'm going to do a full breakdown of this whole crazy campaign on my YouTube channel. I'll probably do that in a few days, but I don't know. Tell me what y'all think. I think he deserves an MVP, but who y'all think?
She was funny. She basically said, Joe Biden set Kamala up. Child, what do y'all think about that? I thought that was funny. She said he set her up. He knew she would lose. That's what she's saying, child. What do y'all think? I thought that was funny in a different way to look at it. It was just funny as hell. But yeah, there's a lot going on, y'all. And in spite of what's going on, listen, I say this because, I try to be reasonable in my approach because I know people are crazy as hell. People are crazy. People out here, crashing out. They think they're going back to the Handmaid's Tale. They hating on black men and everybody who voted for Trump. They're wishing death on people. They're out here crying. And I mean, look, your life is still going on. You get up, you got to go to work. You go to work, right? And that didn't change. Your rights haven't been taken away from you. You can still vote. You can still go. And it was like, oh, this will be the last time we'll vote. We ain't gonna never be able to vote again. And y'all life is gonna go back to the Handmaid's Tale and all these things. Look, you going on with your life. I mean, they really act like this is the first time Trump has been in office and he's going to do something so drastic and just change our lives forever for the worse. He was president before and that didn't happen. Everybody did better. So I don't know where they're getting this from, but once again, it's a bunch of fear mongering and just so they so scared. And honestly, I don't even believe that a lot of people believe that. I think that's just what they want to put out there because they're so distraught that they didn't get the first female Black president because that's what they wanted. They saw it and it was like, oh my God, we need it, and that's all we cared about. They didn't seem to really care about policies that would benefit them or anything. Just, we just want a woman up there. And then if she would have won and things would have gotten, if things would have gotten worse, they would have been complaining about that. But you voted for it. The same way everybody voted for Biden and you got him in there. And then everybody started complaining about what was going on. And they didn't like what was happening under Biden. So it's like, there's no way around it. I mean, you can't please everybody. You got to do what you think is best, and that's that, and move on. So this is going to be an interesting. These are going to be interesting next 4 years, in my opinion. I mean, how people are going to see, because sometimes I think that even President Trump he won, so he's the president. So sometimes I think, okay, if things get better under President Trump, are people going to even acknowledge it? Are they even going to accept that, hey, yeah, he's in there and we didn't go back to the Handmaid's Tale and things are actually better? Are they going to acknowledge that and give him, if things get, are they going to even acknowledge it? Or are they going to still try to find fault in what he does? You know what I mean? Because they don't like him. And one thing I've learned, when somebody don't like you, they're not going to be happy no matter what you do. Even if you're doing the right things, even if you're doing right, they still not gonna like you because they just don't like you. So it's one of those things, where you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. If they don't like you and you're doing good, they're not gonna acknowledge it. If the person gets in there who they like and they're messing it up, they still gonna find excuses to justify the behavior. That's just how it goes. That's just how it goes. So let's see. Sean say less 304s and single mothers are for the better. LOL, Lord. So having a deletion clinic set up at the DNC should have done it for everyone. Wrong thing to do. They already knew who was going to be president. Wow. Hi Vincent, how are you? Thank you so much for being here. So Joe Biden stopped a real black woman from speaking her mind. I need to know his trick. Biden backdoor Harris. Oh my God. Red to the pool, I feel bad for anyone that worship these politicians. Who in here reads bills that are over 200 pages? Big Mike would have been a better candidate. At least she is actually black. Let's see here. She was mad because they ousted him. Biden's wife wore a red pantsuit to voting boot. Farrell says, Rainbow Kid said Donald made a free speech video. She was the one that blew up during his failed debate. That was the earpiece voice coming off the wire. Did y'all see that video where they were saying Kamala showed, was allegedly pretending like she was talking to somebody on the phone and they turned the phone around and there was nobody there? I thought that was insane. I thought that was crazy. People don't remember that Donald Trump was Democratic once upon a time. Exactly, DeMarcus. Exactly. Good point. That is true. And he did speak years ago saying that if he ran, he would run as a Republican and he would win. And he did. My ninja Trump in office, bring back rational thinking. See, back to the plantation, how they believe that is beyond my comprehension. Who in the general public is part of the electoral college? Demetrius says he hates her. Shorty sad she working up a slave tomorrow. Lord have mercy. Y'all a mess. Cam gave us Cardi B, Beyonce, and J-Lo. I was definitely looking at her sideways for sure. I know I did. I'm like, what in the world is this? I was not surprised. I mean, I was not happy. I was looking sideways for sure. Like, what the hell is this? Did you think we care? But a lot of people do. Apparently, they only care about is twerking and Beyonce. I mean, Beyonce is a good performer, but baby, these are not. I don't look at them as political giants. I don't look at these as. I mean, a lot of them, and I'm not trying to be mean. But a lot of them, they don't even. Somebody said we hadn't heard from Beyonce in years. She don't really talk. These are not the best orators. These are not the best speech givers. You know what I mean? It's like you took the bottom of the barrel when it comes to people who can speak and give, the best speeches, who know how to coherently speak. You pick the worst of the worst. You pick the worst when it comes to that. These are entertainers. They're not the best. They're not good at speeches. You know why? I'm pretty sure you could have took some college students who could have came up and done a better job. You could have took somebody, some of these more and I'm just saying more intelligent individuals who know how to actually speak and give coherent speeches that made a lot of sense. I would have respected that more. I mean, leave the entertainers to entertain. Now they're coming up there doing a show. Okay, that makes more sense, even though I wasn't impressed by that, but that's what they do. They're not the best speakers. Use them to perform and do the whop and shake, which I thought was not the best place for that at a political rally. I don't think that's the best place to come shake your whop. But if that's what you want, let them do that. Don't let them speak. Get other people who are known for being able to give good speeches and to push your campaign forward. I feel like, who told her to do that? Was that her plan? Because that backfired. That backfired. People aren't stupid. We looking at these people like, what are you saying? We can't keep up. It doesn't make sense. No, it would have made better sense. Who sabotaged her? Because I do think they sabotaged her. They knew that would not work, and they went along with it. Why would you get those set of people to come up and speak? Let them perform. They should not be speaking. That's just my take on it. DeMarcus says people not happy unless they complain, child. You're right. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, like, wow. Luke Hasty 20 says Rainbow Kids comment. YouTube appears to be quietly reducing visibility of accounts posting content related to Trump's free speech video and executive order. Oh, wow. And I'm not surprised, Luke Hasty. I'm not surprised at all. I mean, that's that's what they do. That's what happens. I'm not surprised at all. Thank you so much for the super chat. And I'm gonna look that up too, because I didn't see it. And I heard you hearing people, and the View is a joke in my opinion. Thank you once again, Luke Casey, for the super chat. They're talking. They mentioned it. That lady on there. What is her name? I keep forgetting her name. But she, talking about they want to stop people from being able to speak their mind. They want to stop people from being able to have, free speech. We're already censored as it is. There's certain things you can't say, and it's getting worse. But yeah, they feel like that's making a difference. You don't want people to get information, or you don't want people to be able to speak on it. It is what it is. I mean, it's the truth. We're already censored as it is. So they want to try to further censor you to not be able to have a opinion or say anything about things that are happening. So it is a thing for sure. Successful MD says, when those people get deported, get out and work. Thank you for the super chat. Successful MD. Jed77 says, Black folk gave Cube hell for talking to Trump. Exactly. Cube had got a platinum deal from Trump, while Biden told him to return after the elections. Yeah, he got a lot of flack for that, for sure. I remember that. I remember it. Yep. They didn't. But what can you say, child? Thank you so much for the super chat, Jed77. Let's see here. Sacred Grove says Trump just addressed censorship today, and he putting a stop to all of it. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up because I didn't see it. I jumped up and I wanted to come on here and address this one because it's just on my mind. It's the things that I see and I want to address them. But they don't like that. Ben says call out YouTube censorship whenever it happens. When it happens all the time, there's certain things that we can't say, certain words you can't say. It's like, and it didn't used to be this way. I've actually been on YouTube for a long, long time, actually, with different things that I've done. I started in the beauty community. And so I've been on YouTube for a long time, longer than, not covering this type of content, but I've been on YouTube in different variations for a long time. And it wasn't like this at first. You could come on and say what you wanted, and it wasn't all this censorship. But now it's more censorship. Things they would allow. Your videos get demonetized because of it, or are restricted because they don't want you saying certain things. So it's actually a problem. YouTube bias narrative pushing media. YouTube censors basically Black grassroots channels. Yeah, it's a problem. It's been a problem, and a lot of people that has caused a lot of people to walk away from YouTube. There are a lot of content creators that I was familiar with years ago who just got tired of it. They walked away and they either went to other platforms, but YouTube out of all of the platforms is the biggest one. That's the biggest one that most people gravitate to. But a lot of people walked away because they got tired of the censorship. They got tired of, having to watch every little word that they say. This is why we can't say certain words, or they'll, restrict your channel or your videos and stuff like that, and reduce visibility because of what you're saying. And I understand you can't just get on this platform and just go crazy. There are certain things you shouldn't be saying, but just calling it like it is shouldn't be an issue. It shouldn't. Duke says within 6 to 8 years, all government sanctions, anti-Black policy, and the entire white racial order will be abolished in America. Watch. Thank you for the super chat, Duke. I appreciate you. We need to stop the powers from taking minerals from Africa. Then we American Blacks to migrate to Africa. Rumble got famous because YouTube ran people away. True, Sacred Grove, exactly. Back in the days with Alex Jones, crazy ASS, Umar, Nation of Islam, etc. Yeah, Trump coming Google YouTube on their coming for Google YouTube on their censorship. DeeDee, you are fine as hell. Oh my God. Y'all tickle me with that, but thank you. I appreciate the compliment to me. Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate it. That came out of nowhere, but thank you. I appreciate you for that. Some white. Oh my God. Love that Trump is already affecting the world stage, which as a Black man is one of the main reasons I voted for him. It's hard to be happy with the first Black woman president when WW4 is on. Sean says she's married. Y'all crazy. I wasn't looking for that. Good afternoon from Columbus, Georgia. What's going on? Shout out to you from Columbus, Georgia. What's your name? Is it Big Skeet Dog? Oh my God. Shout out to you. Oh my God. Success Family says, what will happen to less government, child? The fact that they're doing that, but we have videos like Sexy Red, Suki, a lot of people promoting violence and sex, but those videos are still up. Tell them again, Queen Nicole. I hope I'm saying your name right. Say that again, girl. I don't know if that's a girl. It's a girl. Girl, say it again, because those videos don't get. Listen, I was on Instagram and I all saw a woman chop. This looked like a corn video. I'm just saying, on Instagram. And it was up there. I don't know what the half naked. And I'm just like, I know you lying. What is this? Like, there's that kind of stuff don't get censored. You can put whatever you can, all that's because that's what the goal is. You want to promote the idiocracy. You want to promote the over sexualized stuff, but people can't have a common sense either debate or opinion on things that would matter. That gets censored. But all of this over sexualized stuff, you can post up and no problem. So clearly there's an agenda. There's an agenda for sure. Oh yeah, and we've seen it. This is why, they push that. Push that because they know it's going to directly affect us in a way, or they believe that it will, because people gravitate to that. What other reason why you would pull all the 304s of hip hop up like that? I'm just saying, why else would you promote that over sexualized, just singing WAP and what? I mean, if I was at one of those political rallies, I would have felt so uncomfortable. I probably would have left because I'm like, I didn't come here for that. That is not, but that's why they promote it. That's why they push it, because there's an agenda to continue to push it. Common sense and using your brain is not something they want to promote. You want to promote being focused on petty stuff that really does not make a difference in your life, things that don't really matter, but having a good time, being over sexualized, just out here having sex, just randomly going, you want to promote all that. WAP. even on the political scene, where where you would think it would be more conservative and more, more reeled in, where you have people with some sense and people who are, have more more mentally sane, people who are more conservative, people who respect themselves and present themselves in a respectful way, and people who actually have something that makes sense to say. But instead, we're promoting rappers, half-dressed, naked rappers talking about WAP and just rapping about God knows what they saying. Because some of them, you don't even, I can't even recognize what you're saying. What are you saying? You sound illiterate. You sound like you don't know what is that? That is nothing of any substance. People who haven't finished the 6th grade and stuff like that out here doing a speech. I'm just saying that is the best you can do. That's the best you can pull out. When we supposed to have all these educated people out here with all this education, where are all the women with all the PhDs in it? Why couldn't you pull them out and have them give a common sense speech to push what you're trying to push your agenda? Why didn't we have all these? Why didn't you pull out all the educated women with the degrees who could put sentences together and come out and give you something that we could gravitate to, and something that we could at least give it a second look to say, well, damn, she makes sense. Where were they? Maybe I would have listened more. Maybe you would have gave me something to listen to. Like, give me something of some substance. You're pulling out incoherent people who can't put a sentence together, trying to tell us to vote for you. Make it make sense. Make that make sense. I don't understand, and then wonder why you lost. But once again, that speaks to how they look at us and what they think we care about. If I don't know what you're saying and you're incoherent and you seem illiterate at a campaign rally, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave. Where all these educated women, baby? Why couldn't you rally them up and let them give us something to even consider? That's all I'm saying. It just didn't make no sense. Because they think black people are stupid, Democrats would pander to black people all the time. Right. They underestimated, misjudged, and stereotyped us big time, for sure. 100%. 87 says, when I voted for Trump, I had to keep it quiet. That's crazy. That's crazy. But that's the part that got me. The educated women is a Pookie and Ray Ray, the leading babies. All these educated women, nurses, doctors, the real educators, nope, not one showed up. No, that probably was the most racial stereotype campaign in U.S. history. Right. But they complain about that. You assume us as black people, we all worried about WAP, and we all are uneducated, and we sitting around saying, yeah, Cardi B, let's stallion. That's what you think we all are. Some buffoons just sitting here waiting for y'all to give give us an entertaining show of a bunch of, BS. That's what we all care about. And you're going to pander to us in that way and think we're supposed to just eat that up. But that's what they used to. They used to being able to tell us anything, anything, and just do anything, and we just run and jump to it. Oh. Successful MD says it's okay to disagree, but have some class in here. Well, thank you for stating that, Successful MD. I appreciate it. Exactly. Common Man 80 says they have categories. My page is 18 and over only because I know how I get. I don't want to communicate with anyone under 55 years old, but just that's me, DeeDee. Well, thank you so much for the super chat, Comma Man 80. I appreciate you. At that, Democrats found Planned Parenthood and single-handedly deleted more than 20 million Black children. That's crazy. That is crazy. With the founder that wanted to delete off inferior races. They spent our tax money flying illegals here. Let's spend more of our tax money flying them back home. It will be cheaper in the long run. Child, that's crazy. They did bring twerking to the poll after all. That's Raven. That's insanity. My best friend and I never discussed politics, and not even this one. But I wouldn't be surprised that she voted Kamala. She had a deletion this year and says she's not stable, but take trips constantly. Man, get more education from video games nowadays than the agenda these schools be pushing instead of just teaching facts. Right. I hope family members in Chicago and out in California telling me I'm not allowed at the BBQs anymore. What? Didn't she use a slide pills and guys drinks? Oh, talking about Cardi B. Yeah. That's who they bring to politics. You know, I'm just great. She named Sunny, but I call her Gloomy. Yeah, that Sunny hosting lady, she's a trip. She's a trip. Michael Holmes says Donald Trump is our president. Child. Whole logic is what sells these days, Tyson says. Well, apparently that's what they believe, but it didn't sell too good for them in this particular situation. You know, whole logic is what everybody relate to, and we're not going in the wrong direction. That is a mess. It really is a mess, y'all. My Black Americans, you should not be such a minority, and I love you. Thank you for that, Amber. Mini Mike says Russia, China, and North Korea, Israel, and Hamas don't want World War III no more. Less than 48 hours since Trump got elected. He's not even fully in office right now. Baby, oh my God, that was mind-blowing to me. That is crazy. That's why I said, what is the big difference? How is it that Trump has not even been sworn in yet, but he's the president and this happens? That was mind blowing to me. I'm telling you, I couldn't. What is the big difference? That says to me they didn't respect Biden, and because of his policies, and they didn't want to work with him. But Trump gets in, and all of a sudden now everybody's wanting to work with him. Things already seem to be getting better. That's crazy. Thank you, Mini Mike, for the super chat. Child, that took me out. I'm just like, wow. But Trump's supposed to be the worst, the bad boogeyman, and all of this. But all these people are willing to work with him just on the fact that he's become president, hasn't even been sworn in yet. So that means it's a stark difference. I mean, child, it's just interesting. Like I said, it's interesting. It's getting truly sad, D. Like, people think that being weird and inappropriate is way more cooler than, to me, it's not cool. It's actually sad. It's a red tsunami, and we mean it. Democrats supported the KKK, Planned Parenthood, and the construction of slavery and segregation. Republicans are the only ones that didn't. Wait, hold on. Let me pull this up. Are the only ones that took a hard stance, gave blood from both colors to become one. Main reason they didn't want him as president, they knew. It means they were lying. We almost got gaslit into war. Right. Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Can I ask you, why did you try to lock the man up with all these Trump charges and throw away the key before the election? And nevertheless, he still got like that, and he's still president. Oh yeah, I mean, oh my God. I think, and this is the thing that blew me too. The fact that this man has had 2 assassination attempts on his life, and they just minimize that like it was no big deal. I'm like, well, if that had been anybody else, they would have been outraged. They were not outraged. They were looking like, they didn't seem to care. They didn't seem to care. And I'm like, wow, y'all don't care that somebody tried to take this man out. And y'all just ignored it like it was no big deal. And then he still forged ahead and still end up winning. That's a lot to be said about him, whether you like him or not. That's crazy to me. And they just minimized that like it was nothing. That shocked me too. And tried to lock him up, tried to do all of that. I even tried to do everything seemed like in their power to stop him. And it backfired. It really did. It really did. It backfired. But man, I couldn't imagine going through all of that and still staying the course. Had that been anybody else, if that had been Kamala, oh my God, she'd have been, oh my God, they had a lot more to say and would have been so shocked and all this. But this has literally happened to this man. And it's like you don't have any decency or care in the world because it's him. But anybody else, they would have been outraged. So, child, listen, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. This was interesting. I appreciate you guys for being here. Y'all definitely watch the videos. I will be posting some more videos on these topics that I've already recorded. They're being edited, and I'm going to post them on the channel. So make sure you guys go and give your comments and thoughts on those particular videos, because this is crazy. I just wanted to pop up here and give my 2 cents on this, y'all, because it's a lot going on. And, I guess, we'll continue to see what happens day by day, what happens, what goes on. And, once again, I respect everybody's opinions, whether I agree or not. I respect your opinions because I respect you. As long as you're respecting me, I respect you. There's no reason to, and I'll say this to other people who are crashing out. There's no reason to start to hate on people's choices. Respect people's opinions. You can agree to disagree. Stop trying to, shame folks for having their own mind. Everybody is not in this echo chamber of everybody is not followers. I'll say that everybody is not a follower. Everybody is not going to follow what anybody put out there. If you put something out there, I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, I don't care. All I'm saying is this, and just to keep it simple, respect other people's views, respect other people's opinions. You don't have to agree. Stop with the fear mongering and the hatred towards somebody else who have a different opinion or different view as you, because that is not becoming. That is not a good way to be. That shows that you have some issues within yourself or insecurities or something going on with you, and you need to get some help. Because this is not it. Just because somebody don't agree with you doesn't mean you have to shame them or throw these insults and wish harm on them. That is not who we are or who we should be. Because it looks bad, and actually it deters people from you. If you got a message that you're trying to put out, if you're trying to convey something to people, if you want people to listen to you, shaming them and insulting them is not the way to go. They're not going to want to follow what you're saying or even listen to what you're saying if that's in it. If you're shaming them and guilting them because they don't automatically want to go the route that you're going. So that's my thing. Respect other people if you want respect yourself. And if you don't want to respect them, don't be surprised when they don't respect you and they don't want to listen to you or even patronize anything that you're doing. That's not the way to get people to listen to what you're saying, is all I'm saying. Common Man 80 says, I got Sunny hosting her job on The View and got rid of Raven because Sunny fit Raven wasn't working. Whoopi didn't like her, but got used to her. So I was right. Wow. Thank you for the super chat, Common 80. Common Man 80. Sunny Hostin is doing the most. And she the one who kind of insinuated that people shouldn't almost have a voice, like, oh, when you're talking, they're on these podcasts and they're on social media, well, you need to do something to change that. No, because people don't agree with you. That's very dangerous, in my opinion. But thank you, Common Man 80, for the super chat. I appreciate you. But yeah, you can't go around and be hypocrites. You can't claim to want something and then turn around and do it yourself. Or you expect certain things, but then you turn around and you do it yourself. That's called the hypocrite. It's hypocritical to say you want equality, or you want, things to be equal, and you want to be treated a certain way, and then you turn around and treat somebody harshly when they don't align with what you want or don't agree with you. Then you turn around and let loose on them, and you think that that's right. So it's just a mess, y'all. But it is, look, undisputed truth. Twilight Zone. It is a Twilight Zone, child. We're in the Twilight Zone. We're in an alternate universe and all of it, everything else. So anything is possible. So listen, I am going to leave it here, y'all. I got to get out of here. I appreciate all of you for showing up and giving your thoughts, your perspectives, your opinions. I appreciate it. And I will be back with some more of my thoughts and opinions on whatever it is I choose to talk about on this channel. But I thank and appreciate y'all so much for being here and giving your thoughts. Shout out to everybody who supports the channel via Super Chat, Cash App, for liking the stream, which hit the like button, y'all. That definitely helps as well. Thanks to everybody who supports the channel in any way possible. I appreciate y'all so much for allowing me to be here and sharing your views and thoughts and all of that. I appreciate it because I think it's important to get other people's perspectives. I say this all the time. I like to hear what other people have to say. Once again, I don't always agree, but that's fine. We're not supposed to always agree because that's the whole point of hearing other people's perspectives. Somebody who has a different perspective from you, somebody who thinks differently, you can learn sometimes from that. So I think that's important to allow people to have their opinions, because their opinions or thoughts should not sway or change yours. If you have an opinion that you strongly believe in, that's what you believe in, and I'm not trying to change it, but it's good to hear why you think that way and just get your perspective. And that's just the way we should leave it. You know what I'm saying? And if you happen to say something that somebody agree with, or that somebody, thinks that could maybe change their insight or change the way they think, and they gravitate towards it, then that's fine as well. But if they don't, we shouldn't be shaming people and trying to wish harm on people for their own perspectives and thoughts. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. And I think it's insane that they're out here doing this, and it's just crazy. It just shows you how people think, and it's not always they're not always thinking sanely. It's an insane mindset out here, and a lot of these people need to go and get some therapy and work on yourself to try to understand, get to the point of why you are doing this, why you doing what you're doing, because it's unnecessary. It really is. But thank y'all once again for being here. I appreciate you guys so much. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out, you guys. Stay tuned for more videos that I will be posting on the channel, and I will have more live streams coming up really, really soon. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you hit that notification bell, turn it to all so that you'll get all of my content, and you will know when I go live or post new videos. So thank y'all. Shout out to everybody in the building, everybody watching. I love you guys. Y'all be safe out in the streets, and I'll catch you in the next one. Mwah. Bye.